build systems that keep your team on track without creating complexity that burns people out. If you've got a team carrying a big load and your team members are feeling burned out, the work still needs to get done. So what do? Because as a leader, you don't want your people to hit the breaking point and quit. So how do you build systems and processes that both keep the work moving forward and help people to have a healthy, sustainable pace? In this video, we'll talk about how to create smart systems. Simple, effective leadership systems that support execution and clarity without adding complexity or burnout. In my last video, I talked about 4 master systems that help every team move forward, work more effectively and efficiently. And the reality is that improving these systems always involves change, and overwhelmed teams are not big fans of change. But the bigger risk is when systems get too complex, people burn out. I talked to somebody who had to track billable hours, even though the client already paid in full and it really didn't matter how many hours they worked. And this demand took so much time, sucked the life out of team members, since it was essentially meaningless. And that is something that you do not want to do to your team. As a leader, your job is to build systems that get results without overwhelming your team. Sometimes leaders pile on too much structure, like ever been part of a weekly meeting that everyone's standing there wondering, why are we meeting? And on the other angle, others avoid structure altogether. But neither of these extremes work. So good news, it is possible to create systems that bring clarity, calm, follow through, and it's not about doing more. It's about doing the right few things on purpose. You can create a smart system that reinforces priorities, keeps only the steps that matter, and supports people instead of burdening them. So first, let's clarify, what is a leadership system? Your leadership system is the rhythm and the structure behind how you make decisions, communicate, and execute. Each of these master systems needs clarity in how decisions are made and communicated, and then how they get carried out. It's not about more bureaucracy or putting a new software tool. As you consider how to lead your team or your organization, build a smart system. That is the key to creating something that's effective and not overly burdensome. So there's 3 basic elements to remember. We start first with setting priorities. Your best systems often exist informally, so find and formalize them. Start with what's already working. Make it intentional. For example, if your weekly check-in clarifies what matters most, build around it. Ask your team, what's working that we don't want to lose? This is what we need to build out. This is what we're going to focus on. This is what we're going to prioritize right now. Then the next one is to simplify those steps and rhythms. Use one shared tool instead of 5. There's so many tools out there. Can you simplify them? Cut anything that creates noise or maybe duplicating. So for example, I worked with a client who asked me to evaluate and streamline their hiring process. And we lined up their steps against their goal. We found there were 5 different parties involved. And some of them were duplicating works. And in other areas, there was gaps because nobody was doing it. By clarifying who needed to be involved and automating a few steps, we simplified the process. And best of all, everybody knew their role. We eliminated the duplication, and people felt supported instead of drained. And last of all, support your people. A smart system feels like support, not surveillance. Involve your team who will be using this process. Get their thoughts on how to best streamline the process so it works most effectively. Build feedback into the process. Is this helping, or is this actually causing everybody more work? And reinforce the why. This system is here to help people succeed, not to control them. That's the impact of a smart system. It reinforces, it sets priorities, it simplifies the steps that are needed, and it supports the people so that they can do their best work. You don't need more tools. You need a smart system that helps people succeed and the work to get done. So take a look at this diagram. Discuss it with your team. Which system in your organization is helping the team thrive, and which one is draining their energy? Because that might identify some of the areas that you can start tweaking and developing a smart system to get things done.